Oh.
Lighting up your screen, it's time to go where the geeks unite and the ideas flow from the silver screen to the pixels glow. Every geeky story, let's start the show. EG Live, shout it loud and clear. Top news, good vibes, every week we're here. Movies, TV, books, and games collide. EG Live, it's a wild ride.
Yeah, I still don't have any energy.
Oh, well.
It is what it is. Hey, everyone. It's Eugene for EG Live. I'm here with my partner in crime, Cyrus Martin. How you doing, man?
Hello. Howl at the moon and shoot out the light.
Jesus.
It's a small town. Saturday night. It's not Saturday.
No, it's not Saturday night. I thought about something the other day. There was something that I heard in a book, and I thought maybe I should start referring to Cyrus that way. And that is, oh, hey, PJ Smith's here.
You heard in a book.
Yeah, I heard in a book because I listened to books.
Oh,
anyway.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah. Anyway, and the comment was maybe I should start introducing Cyrus as one of my best friends or one of my worst enemies. And the reason I should explain, and the reason it is because the way it was explained in the book would be if the person was your best enemy, then it would be the person that really causes you problems all the time. You're constantly concerned about them. They're constant, they're all up in your grill or whatever. Mm-hmm. Your worst enemy is someone that mildly annoys you from time to time.
Oh,
so
that song I made for you calls me the best of friend and the worst of foes.
Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah. That's pretty good. So, because what's funny is I just naturally, did you always naturally go for Wario or were you just doing that to get my goat?
No. What do you mean to get your goat?
Because I always picked Mario. Like I was always a Mario player.
No, Wario was my jam, dude.
Okay.
I love Wario. He's hilarious. And
yes,
he fits me because it has nothing to do with you being Mario.
I just wanted to make sure because I was just like, is he just trying to troll me or is he just naturally?
Did you think that's why I did that?
It crossed my mind from time to time, but it's not like
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So you really do believe the world revolves around you. So that's
no, but I'm looking at something right now. The way that my beard is currently going is starting to get whiter here again. If you just generally look, it almost looks like it goes like this. And there's nothing really there. And I've got that like a weird wrestler beard thing going on here.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We got to do a show where we act like wrestlers.
Oh, I don't know if I can do it all.
I like their
episode.
I like to call them wrestlers.
Wrestlers?
Yes.
Fair enough. Well, we've got several big stories we're going to talk about tonight. So let's go ahead and jump right on into it. But first, we got to check in on the summer movie game. Regretting You keeps every dollar it makes since it's you got it for $1 is worth that amount. So it's that 1 point has earned you almost $40 million, which is crazy.
What an appropriate name for the number one pick that we could have gotten that we didn't.
I know, absolutely right. Black Phone 2 is at 70 million. It is literally 1 million short of Tron Ares, which still blows my mind. Although I've heard really good things about this movie. Apparently, this is a really good horror movie. I don't know what it is about it that people are saying, oh, it's such a good horror movie, but obviously it's made quite a bit of money. Chainsaw Man still is crazy to me that it's made that much money. It's made almost 40 million as well. Then we got Tron Ares and finally followed by Roofman. I will say there are a couple of movies and like one of them's not on here, but I may have to go see Predator Badlands. Like
I heard it's good.
I've heard nothing but good about it, and it has like it was like an 80 something on Rotten Tomatoes, but like a 90 something, a mid 90 something on the audience score, which is the one I care about. And I'm just like, oh man, I'm gonna have to go see this. It made $40 million opening weekend, which is like I think they said it's the highest opening for any Predator movie ever. And I'm just like,
that too. Yeah.
So yeah. Which brings us to our top 10. Oh, look, who's still at number 1.
Wow, it's so weird. So weird.
No, it's not, because your strategy worked, man. At least it's still working now. In the next couple of weeks, it's going to be, that's where the test is going to be, because we're going to have, what is it? Zootopia 2 is coming out. The new Wicked movie's coming out. Like, that's going to be the test to see if the people who bought those movies and went pretty much all in on those movies, if it's going to pay off. Much media as I keep seeing, it could.
Those people are not on this top 10 list.
That's also true, because they're sitting at zeros right now. So
long way to go to catch me. That's all.
That is true. Yeah. But yeah, you're still at number one with 266. Bruce, the 1, 2, top 3 did not move at all. We did have a shift. Josh moved up from 6 to 4. Last line dropped down from 4 to 5. Mike went up 1. Tex Mix went down 2, and then 8, 9, 10 we stayed the same. So 20 million. I've only made 20 million so far, and we're at least at the halfway point.
But it's a solid 20 million.
Sure it is. So I'm trying to remember what my big movie is that I went in on. I think mine was Zootopia. So
hey, if it makes
pays off.
If it makes 246 million, you'll catch up to me.
Maybe, but you're going to keep clocking in money up to that point. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But anyway, so yeah, let's go ahead and get into our first story for the night. So I saw this one. Actually, I think I saw this one and posted on Facebook.
Before you get into this,
okay,
I need to tell you this, and I don't think you're aware of this at all. PJ is a huge Funko guy.
Is he?
Yes, he has a huge collection of Funko stuff. He's been into it for a long time. When he used to stream and maybe stream videos, whatever it was he was doing, he had all his Funkos behind him. He had tons and tons of awesome Funkos. So this is very relevant. He was telling me, he's like, well, that's interesting whenever you posted the story.
So yeah, I saw this, I think, on Facebook. Before we get into it, let me explain. I never got into Funkos. Like, I think I own 1 or 2 of them, but they were both gifts. Like, someone was like, oh, hey, I got you a Ghostbusters Funko. And I was like, okay, cool. Cause I collect all Ghostbusters stuff. And I was just like, cool. But I never saw the appeal in them, but I also never looked down on people who are into them. I was just like, well, that's just what you're into. That's not me. That's cool. I know didn't they get bought by Mondo? No. Someone bought them out a few years ago. And that's where I thought this story was going to go. I honestly thought the story on this was going to be, well, they're going out because they've got a mountain of debt, which is the case, but it's not the reason I thought. So they told investors last week at their quarterly meeting, there's a substantial doubt about their future in the next 12 months. They currently have a $241 million loan that they may end up defaulting on. This last quarter, their report was $1 million in losses as compared to this time last year, where they had $8 million in profit. So that is, you lost 800 million or 8 million and then even went in the hole one. And from the article that I was reading said, it's not due to the big loss of big licenses and flooding the market. That's partially where I thought it went, because and we'll kind of go around here in a second, but I ended up going, we talked about this, what was it, the last stream, we talked about selling my Xbox. I did it. I went ahead and sold my Xbox. And I'll tell that story here in just a minute. Maybe we'll do that after this story. But anyway, as I'm standing in the GameStop, there's just this wall of Funkos. And I'm just like, man, I wonder how many of these they move, because when I go to conventions and stuff, because I do a lot of conventions, there's some people that do nothing, they sell almost nothing but Funkos. So I know there was still a market for it, but they've done Funkos of everything you can think of, and then even variations of that as well. And so I thought, well, maybe they just overflooded the market. But according to the article I was reading, it's because of the tariffs. The tariffs have just killed their ability to import these in from China at a decent price. And so they can't really bump up the price too much. So they're massively having to eat the cost on this. And it's basically washing out any of their benefit. But they have a plan I don't know if I agree with the plan, but their plan is they're going to start making smaller versions of the Funkos, and they're going to start going all in on loot boxes. And I'm like, guys, I don't know if that's going to see. So apparently they've got some different ones that are coming out. I think like they've been banking on like some of the Wicked, the new Wicked movie coming out. K-pop Demon Hunters. Like there's some big licenses they've got with some like a lot of interest behind them. But instead of just putting them out as the normal Funkos that are like, about this big or whatever, they're making smaller versions and they're doing it as more like a blind box type thing. So like you might get something else, but like you go buy the Wicked Funko Pop, but you don't know who you're going to get. Like you've got maybe a chance to get, 5 or 6 different ones, but you don't know which one you're going to get. And you may get, I don't know, a shirt or something else with it. They said they were doing loot boxes. And I'm just like, man, like I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be y'all saving grace. Cause even if that's the case, even if they're making them smaller, like if you're not making them here, you're still importing them. And like every day, it seems like those tariffs with China go up and down, up and down, up and down. So I don't know. Well, Born Distracted said, no offense, but I'm surprised Funko Pops lasted this long. I mean, they've been around for a whole minute. Like they've been around for a while.
Been around a while.
So
yeah, I thought the solution to overcoming the tariff problem was that they would just make them in the United States, right? Like you just make the Funkos here and make them great again.
And just do a pop-up factory because that's
sorry.
Right?
I'm sorry. That's terrible. I shouldn't say it.
No, it's the truth. It is the honest truth. Like, because so the other reason that I thought maybe that they were going out or they were having issues is, like I said, they got bought. I don't remember who bought them. I probably should look that up real quick. Anyway,
apparently PJ. PJ bought.
Yes, apparently PJ bought them out. Let's see here.
Where is PJ?
Maybe someone else. Maybe they bought someone else. Hold on.
I was like, I know PJ wants to talk about this, but I guess he's busy doing stuff. Like, I really wanted to get his thoughts about this.
August 2025, and the CEO statement since then, the company has increased the scope of their toy lines. May 2022, consortium led by Sharon Group acquired a significant stake in Funko for $263 million. Acon investors. Okay, so that's what I thought happened to them. I thought it was one of those situations like what's happened with Toys R Us and what happened with like oh God, what was the name of the fabric store? Joann's Fabrics. I thought it was one of those deals where some group came in and bought them and basically jacked up all of their prices, ran off all of their good employees, and was like, well, we're just going to sell the company off in pieces. Because that's what actually killed Toys R Us. Yes, they were fighting Amazon and losing that battle. They didn't have a good online presence. They made some major mistakes here and there, but it was because when they were purchased, they were saddled with like hundreds of millions of dollars in debt. And they were just like, there was just no way to get out from underneath it. And so I thought, oh, well, maybe that's what's going on here. And who knows, that may be part of it. But yeah, according to what they're saying, at least so far, it's because of the tariffs are kicking our ass. So, which is sad.
Yeah, that's really disappointing. I mean, in a serious way, not making jokes about it, it's not funny. There's so many businesses in this country and in other countries, Canada, different places, that are being absolutely destroyed right now because of maybe tariffs or maybe the aftermath of tariff situations, because they affect so many things,
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing has really gotten, I mean, and I'm being serious. It's not a political statement. I don't think that the architects of this economic decision-making system had any idea that this whole thing was going to cascade into what it has become. Like there's so many factors that have crippled, and then the government shutting down for so long and like so many things, you add it all up and it's like, what a nightmare for business of all kinds, from all facets, it's just a crazy time that we live in.
All right. So PJ did chime in. He said they made too many things other than pops in my observation. They have been making minis for a while. They make keychain ones. They make giant ones, stuffed animals. It's not the Pops, it's Funko. Yeah, and that article that I looked up just a second ago did say that starting in like 2022, 2023, that they were expanding into other things. And so maybe that is also the problem is they've gotten away from their core thing.
Let me ask you this, and this is probably happening in a lot of businesses too. Do you think they're using the tariff thing as sort of a excuse?
That could also be.
Yeah, because they had already made bad decisions about things.
That absolutely could be. They could be that you're right that they've made bad decisions. They were like, "Oh crap, we went all in on this other stuff and it didn't pan out for us." So
Born Distracted said exactly. Great minds think alike. Born Distracted. Oh my gosh.
Jack Price is up, whatever the reasons are. Yeah, and that could be. So, but yeah, like I'm like the first thing that came to my mind was, like I said, I don't collect, Funkos or whatever. I do have a couple of them.
Which ones do you have?
It's a couple of Ghostbusters one. I think I've got one of the. No, that's something else. I know I've got a Slimer. I know someone gave me a Slimer, and I kept it in the box. So it's mint in the box. But so that's what I was going to ask you here in a second. But like my first thought was honestly was like, man, like I felt bad because like there's a store in the Clean Mall, dude. When was the last time you've been to a mall?
Oh,
yeah,
I don't know. A couple years at least.
Okay, so the other night I was doing an update on the software system in my car, and in order for it to work, it takes about 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So it's not like I can just go plug the USB drive in and just let it sit there, because it wouldn't be good for the car to just sit there and run for 30 minutes. So it's like, we suggest you go for a drive. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I went for a drive. Well, I was driving all around and I was like, let me just drive by the Clean Mall. At 8 o'clock, I'm pretty sure some of the larger stores were still open, but I don't think the main mall was. And I'm just like, I know it's a Tuesday night, but I'm just like, there's nothing here. I can't believe there's nothing here. But I know there's at least one store in there that like, that's kind of their thing, is selling Funkos. And like I said, I go to these conventions and people just like have walls and like they buy these, depending on the con you go to, they charge you $1,000, $2,000 for that booth space. Like it's because you can make that money depending on what you're selling. And there's some of these bigger ones that have just walls of Funkos. And I'm just like, man, I wonder what that's going to do to them. Because here's my question. Do you think if they go under, and I'm not rooting for this by any means, but if they go under, say next year, do you think the value for the Funkos goes up or goes down?
I think it will go up.
You think so?
I think people will get interested in them because they become limited. They become a limited item, an item that is collectible and has licenses, like you said, famous licenses and stuff, and is not currently being manufactured. So yeah, I think they start to go up. Maybe not all of them, but like the more popular stuff.
Because I was like, man, in my opinion, it could be a 50-50 thing. Because I mean, like, on one hand, they half flooded the market. There's crap tons of them. If it was more of a limited thing, it could be, well, maybe that's why it gets more expensive. Because my first thought was Beanie Babies, because they're not worth anything anymore.
Yeah.
But then again, they were also generic things. It was just like, oh, here's the I think the only one that really stands out was like the Princess Diana bear. Otherwise, it's just like, oh, it's this bear or it's this whatever. Whereas, like you were saying with the Funko Pops, that's Captain America. Like everyone loves Captain America. So
they're designed to be displayed. They're designed to be a collectible item. I think that it's interesting. I think if the company goes under, I think that they start to go up. I was going to say, I think the more popular ones go up. Actually, I think the rarer, the more obscure ones go up.
Oh, definitely those probably. Yeah.
Yeah. So PJ, you might be sitting on a gold mine, sir.
Could be.
Because I'll tell you what, I've never owned a Funko anything. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I barely have fun. But if the company goes under, I might find myself somehow starting to think maybe I need to buy Funkos. Like I actually was thinking, like, I wonder if there's any cool ones that I might like, and I've never thought about it before.
Oh,
So
see, It's like anything else. It's one of those paths. I'm like, I don't need to go down this path because I'm just
Right.
like, well, maybe I'll just get the Ghostbuster ones. Yeah, and I looked into it. That's a path to go down to, man. PJ said, and I agree with this 100%. PJ, Beanie Babies or Wilo Boo Boo will be junk eventually, 100%. Because unless they start doing themed ones or something like that, it's just rando animal or whatever. So
I don't even know what Labubu is. I
think Monchichi 2.0.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the first thing I thought of when I saw one. I was just like, this is like a Monchichi. If you remember what those were, you're from the 80s. You know what you know what a Monchichi is.
I know what a Monchichi.
Yeah.
Monchichi.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So let's hope they go up. I got 300 of these bastards. Oh my god. Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, BJ, even if like 10 or 20 of those go through the roof,
you're set.
You can pay for your whole collection.
I know, right? Yeah. Yeah, because they don't all have to be winners. You just need a few of them to hit. So
PJ, I would definitely hold on to them, and
I would too.
I have a feeling that maybe not in the next couple of years, but soon those things are going to be worth some money. I just have a feeling.
Well, I'm rooting for you, dude. All right. So before we go on to our next story, let's rope back around real quick here and talk about the follow-up for last week. So last week we were talking about the Xbox Series S, and I was like, I think I'm going to sell it. And we talked back and forth. I pretty much just, talked myself into doing it. And I looked up, and on GameStop's website, pardon me, they were going to offer me $105, I think. And then we got into a discussion of whether or not it had been worth it to do their what is GameStop's paid thing? It's Power Up or whatever their thing. And I also had I was selling the console and a controller, and then I had a charging dock. I mean, it wasn't like super expensive. I think I looked it up on Walmart or Amazon. It was like $30. So I was expecting to maybe get, I was hoping maybe 10, but let's be honest. I was, I kind of get what I get. So anyway, I go into GameStop, and it's crazy because it literally tells you, and of course, being a security conscious person, I immediately hooked it up, turned it on. It was like, hey, I need an update. Cool. Go ahead and do your update. And then I immediately wiped it clean. I sent it back to factory, right? Because that's what it tells you to do before you bring it in, send it to factory. What's the first thing this woman does? Plugs it in. Oh, I've got to test it. And he goes through all of the steps to set up their local account on it to test it. And I'm just like, do y'all not have some other way to test this damn thing? Like, you literally had to hook it up to your Wi-Fi and set up an account. And I'm just like, there's got to be a better way to do this. But anyway, she tested it, and I'm like, she's like, well, yeah, the stick, the controller doesn't have any drift. Everything looks good. I can offer you, looking on the computer, I can offer you like $96. I'm like, okay, well, that's not quite the 105 your website was saying, but it's close enough. And I was like, well, could you do me anything for the charger? She's like, no, I can't buy that. And I'm just like, okay. Well, tell you what, can I think about it and bring it back? She's like, yeah, that's fine. I'm like, okay, well, let me be back here in a little bit. And then I literally drove, it's maybe half a mile down the road to a smaller group called Game Exchange. It's literally Game, letter X, change, Game Exchange. And they're definitely a little more fly-by-night type of operation, but they've also got older stuff. Like they have older consoles and everything else. And so I brought it in or whatever, and the guy was like, are you thinking about selling it? I was like, yeah, and blah, blah, blah. So he does some tests and stuff on it, runs through some stuff. And he's like, would 167 be okay? And I'm just like, what? He's like, 167. I'm like, $167, because I was afraid he was trying to tell me like $1.67. I was just like, no. Wow. But yeah, he was like, with 160, and I'm like, yeah. Would you give me anything for the chargers or whatever? At this point, I don't give a shit. He's like, I can only give you like $3, so like 170 total. I'm like, yeah, I think I can do that. So he gives me the $170 in cash, and I tell him to have a nice day, and I proceed to stiff walk to my car and get in and drive off as fast as I can, so that I'm just like, I hope this guy didn't like put in that he thought it was like the 1 terabyte version because it was only the 512 version. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the person at GameStop was wrong. Maybe she was trying to rip me off and it is the one. But I'm 99% sure I did not buy a 1 terabyte, the 1 terabyte version of the S. But yeah, like I got $170 for it, dude. Like I'm stoked about that.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Like, a few years ago when we bought this Series S's, me and my daughter each got one. We paid $200 for the used one.
I think that's roughly what I paid too.
Yeah, to get $167 for it.
But I wasn't gonna argue with him.
Maybe I don't know. I mean, that's more than I would expect. But I don't.
I was hoping for. I was gonna be happy with the 105. To be honest with you, I just was kind of pressuring. The reason I didn't go ahead and just say yes is because when she was like, "Well, no, I can't give you anything for the chargers," I'm like, well, what the hell am I going to do with the chargers? Like,
yeah,
because it is what it is. So, Eugene, did they have the system you was looking for to replace it? No, I'm actually not looking to replace it. I'm actually putting that money towards new computer parts. My brother-in-law, him and his wife, we actually interviewed his wife on the book club. I'm sorry, on the creative show, Amber Palmer, and he built a gaming PC for her, and she just doesn't ever touch it. She just doesn't have time to touch it. And so he was like, would Nicholas be interested? I'm like, no, he hasn't shown any interest in gaming PCs. He's like, well, do you want the parts? And I'm like, sure. Well, what do you have? And they're better parts than I've got now. So I'm going to be getting some of those from him on. I was like, well, do you want anything for him? He's like, no, it's fine. He's like, we're doing really well right now. I'm like, well, good for y'all. But yeah, he's going to bring me the parts at Thanksgiving. And so I'm going to be rebuilding this PC. And hopefully, so whenever I'm streaming NES games and stuff like that, I'm not pegging at like 50-60% on the CPU usage. Maybe it'll go way down after that. Yeah. It's perfectly fine. If I'm just playing games, it's fine. But it's the combination of playing games and streaming that, causes it to jump up. Speaking of which, just as a side note on that, talking to them. Yeah. Were you on that show when we were interviewing her, Sai?
I don't remember.
Anyway, she was telling us, she's like, yeah, she said the new book's coming out. Of course, I'm working on another one. And she's planning on like retiring, like leaving her job in January. She's doing that good writing. So
I don't think I was on that.
That's
show.
awesome.
No, I don't.
Okay. So anyway, just a little update on her. All right. So let's go ahead and move on back to our next story here. So this one was a big thing. What's funny is Alex is the one that brought this one to my attention. Because I was like, okay, we probably need to talk about this. And then I got to looking at it today when I was doing some research, and I was just like, okay, like it's not one of those things that was like very clear, yes or no or whatever for me. This is like in a weird gray area. Valve announces new hardware. They announced a next gen Steam machine. Still don't know if that's quite the best name for it. Controller and the frame, which is their VR headset. The previous Steam machine, which I didn't even realize was a thing. I didn't even know that was a thing. Was 10 years ago and was considered a failure because of the parts they used. It was apparently a lot of people like didn't really care for it because they thought it was too much money for the parts it was. They actually contracted out to a couple of different companies to make them. And the biggest thing was it wouldn't play all Steam games. So like that was kind of like the breaking thing for it. So, but not the case with this new one. So the current new Steam machine, which they've announced, like I said, they previously partnered with Alienware and Lenovo, lacking compatibility for Steam OS. Oh, that's what it was. It was Steam OS. It wouldn't run. It's going to be built in-house, and it's going to, right now they've said play all Steam games at 4K, but using the upscaling. It's using an AMD RDNA 3 GPU, which is roughly an RTX 4060 or RX 7600 mobile. So it's not like the full desktop CPU version. It's the mobile version of those GPUs. See, do I have anything else on this one? No, we'll go to the controller here in a second.
It's 6 times as powerful as the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
Pretty good. ETA Prime, I actually watched a video that he did earlier today about it. Or maybe he did yesterday. Anyway, but he was talking about it, and he's like, he's also very positive. He's just like, if I get a hold of one of these, I will definitely do reviews and stuff. He's like, this definitely sounds like a decent thing. He said, now, of course, and I agree with you 100%, depends on the price.
Yeah.
He was guessing $750 to maybe $1150 price wise. What do you think about that?
I think that it's going to be lower than people think, because I think they're going to subsidize part of the cost.
You think so?
That's what they've done in the past. And I think they're going to try to make a push for this thing like they did with the Steam Deck. Because the Steam Deck was subsidized. It was a lot cheaper than it should have been.
Really? I didn't know that. I mean, I know it's a good little system. So, and
the
majority of people I know who've had one like loved it.
I wouldn't be surprised if this thing's $500.
And so Born Distracted, I was getting there, but you beat me to it. Of everyone who was listening to this announcement, if I were Microsoft, I would be sitting up straight and be like, okay, this is interesting.
Oh, Phil Spencer talked about this.
Oh, did he?
Yes, he did.
Okay, because my first thought when I saw this was, if this does well, Microsoft is going to be like, okay, full steam ahead on this whole console PC hybrid thing. But if this thing flops, they may be like sweating bullets and be like, oh, fuck, what are we going to do now?
Phil said something to the effect of, this looks great, and we're one of the biggest publishers on Steam. So we would, basically we're wishing them success and stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be, if this thing does well, I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft partners with Steam.
I mean, because the only I was like, well, why would you want to buy the new Xbox over this? And I would be like, well, because Xbox is a bigger brand for the general populace. The general populace knows Xbox. They may not know Steam. But if you had a console that is like, oh, hey, it will play all Steam stuff, which supposedly that new Xbox one is going to, and it does Xbox stuff, I'd be like, well, that would be this and that. That would probably make it a little bit better deal, a little bit, better going. So, but yeah, I think they're right. I think the idea, there are a lot of people who are just really love the idea of being able to play PC games in the living room and have it on a box that looks decent. Like, I don't see many people being like that's a computer.
It looks like an Xbox. And
a little bit, yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm one of those people that I get kind of like speculative about things, and I think in my head, I wonder this and I wonder that, and I don't mean to be like, let me put my tinfoil Alex Jones hat on for a second.
Fair enough.
Here's what I think's going on, people. I think Microsoft and Steam have been partnering for years to totally tank the brand of Xbox because they realized that the Steam brand was the real brand that people actually cared about and loved. And so they partnered in behind the scenes to create a box that's actually going to be the next Xbox. But right now they're slowly putting it out there, one tippy toe into the water as a Steam box, but it's actually the next Xbox. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. This is what's going on. Look at this, the new Xbox. It's right there.
That's a little far, but I'm also not going to say that's completely insane. Like, I mean, there's been, weirder bedfellows in the console wars forever. I mean, the whole reason we have a PlayStation, we have the Sony PlayStation, is because things fell apart last minute between Sony and Nintendo. So
here's what I think happened at the last minute because of all the bullshit that's gone on with Xbox. Steam said, all right, we're not going to do it. And Microsoft was like, well, what if we just take the name off and leave, and you can just call it a Steam box.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, all right, we'll stick with the plan. So they put it out as a Steam box, but this was really supposed to be the next Xbox.
Epically, how's my boy dropping fire in the chat? Also, Steam is like Thanos right now. Fine, I'll do it myself. So, yeah, but this is interesting. Like I said, this is a gray area that, like, now granted, I just said that I'm going to be upgrading my PC here pretty soon. And I'm still mainly looking at playing old retro games. Like, I'm not looking to be able to, there's a few newer games I would like to be able to play with the boys. But that being said, like, this is something that if I didn't have a PC and I was thinking about getting back into it, I might be like,
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
it's already built. It's already together. I know
It-
it's gonna
it-
work.
it's SteamOS too, so it's going to be optimized.
Yes, and and I think that's why
yeah.
a lot of people are kind of like, "Ooh, that's interesting," because
Yeah.
it's one thing to put SteamOS on a box because you're always just like, "Well, I know it'll run it, but does it run it the way it's supposed to?"
Yeah.
You know, there's always a little bit of question there, and this way, you're right, it's going to be optimized like hell. So
this is going to be better than people think it is, you know, because I'm telling you, if this thing does well, and that's the key, if it starts to sell, you're going to see a lot of PC developers target this thing, and that'll be interesting as well to see
Yes, it
PC
will.
gaming take on a targeted hardware perspective, which I think the PC community will flip their shit over. They're not going to like that, but they're also going to like the idea that there's a PC SKU that's picking up traction and becoming more mainstream. Because the problem, I'm going to tell you, the problem PC gaming has is it became very mainstream to almost the point where it was starting to get to where consoles are at as far as mainstream goes. And then they pulled the physical component out of PC gaming and took it out of stores and made it harder to become involved with and turned it into more of a niche thing. And it started to slip and become more like obscure, like PC gaming used to be. And the PC gaming community loves that shit because they want to be exclusive and weird. But unfortunately, it shrinks the size of the tent. You know, the PC gaming community is much more diehard when their thing is their thing and you can't have my thing, it's my thing.
Yep.
But it's not as popular and it's more expensive. And something like this, you know, it's better for PC gaming, but it may not be better for PC gamers who feel a certain kind of way about their thing.
Gatekeepers. They're gatekeepers.
Yeah.
It's what it boils down to. And I mean, I get it. Like there's what is the one thing? I've got one thing that, and I can't even remember what it is right now, that unfortunately I do kind of have that little bit of a mentality that's like, well, you got into it when it got popular. I was into it back before then. And I can't even remember what the hell it was at this point. But yeah, no, you're totally right. Going back to those videos, those old videos that you took when we were back in college or whatever, when you were walking around Babbage's, like half of that store was PC stuff. Like
Most
half of that store was PC stuff. Yeah. And you're right. Now, like there's no PC stores to go to look at games or anything like that. It's all downloaded, and the only stores are game stores, and you know, it's just wall to wall of the same stuff over and over again. So unless you find one that sells retro stuff, and then that gets a little interesting, but
that's different though. I mean, that's a totally different kind of market.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But once upon a time, PC gaming got to be a big, I mean, here's the thing, man. People buy Christmas presents a lot for like when they buy games or when they buy special gaming devices, keyboards, mice, controllers, joysticks, flight sticks, steering wheels, the special gaming monitors, the special gaming stuff. A lot of that happens at Christmas time. And people like to go buy Christmas presents and then wrap them and put them under the tree and stuff like that. And that aspect of PC gaming is diminished by, I mean, it's not even close to what it once was. Like once upon a time, yeah, dude, you could go to the whatever, you know, Babbage's software, etc., you know, whatever.
Electronics boutique.
Yeah, and get some cool thing, wrap it up, put it under a tree or whatever. And that aspect of PC gaming has really fallen away. You know, it really has. But, you know, something like this is what's the thing is people want to they want to play PC games, but a lot of people, most people don't want to play games at their desk off to themselves in their office or their bedroom or whatever. And it's a very singular gaming experience, right? You're not gathering the kids around the desk, you know?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like people want to do it in the living room, and PC gaming is a thing that people have wanted to bring into the living room. It just hasn't quite, the secret sauce hasn't quite been there. And something like this marketed properly, and I do like their marketing they're doing for this.
I agree.
It's very good. And if they can take it up just a little bit and hit that Nintendo Switch feeling, which they're getting close with their marketing, this thing could really sell well, and become something that happens in the living room. It's something that almost happened last time, but they screwed it up. It wasn't ready. It just wasn't ready, but it is ready now. And so I would be very interested to see, like, how this affects what PC gaming becomes, because
Right.
The idea of building a PC and piecing together your Frankenstein machine and doing it how you want to do it with your expensive parts and your water cooler and your LED lights and your fancy stuff, that's cool, but that's a very specific type of nerd. Okay?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
That's not mainstream, and that's
it's not.
Right. But this could be interesting.
Yes, having a Steam box that you can literally plug in and would act like a console, that I think can sell, because even just the gateway of, well, you've already got a computer and you've already got a decent computer. All you need to do is download Steam, and then you sign up for an account, and then you can download that already loses a bunch of people. If this thing out of the box is just like, here's the store, give us your credit card, you buy games on it like you do your PlayStation or your Xbox, you download it, and boom, it's going to work 100%. Yeah. I think that could sell to some people.
And I was going to say, I think the gamers who have these big machines, the nerds, yes. Yeah. I think some of them would want this too, because you don't want to take your giant, awesome machine that's your machine for your desk in your bedroom. You don't want to put that in the living room, but you might put this thing in the living room.
Yeah.
And since it's Steam, you can load. I mean, Steam doesn't restrict you to having one machine. You can have your entire library on both.
Are you going to save up for it, Lion? Are you going to save up for one? He also asked, he asked earlier, was PC gaming affordable back then? No. And yes, it depends on what you call affordable. Like, if that's your only hobby and you're making okay money that you can like eat and live and you have a little money left over, then yeah, it's affordable. But if you were wanting like the brand new thing that just came out, then no, it wasn't affordable. It never has been. So
PC gaming has never been affordable.
So
even back when in the olden Apple IIe, IBM PC, olden days, dude, a computer was like $4,000 back then. Which, translate that. I don't know how that translates. But
yeah. Maybe, but that the RTX 5070 is calling me. Yeah, I told you you're going to be chasing that dragon, dude. Someone else said something or another that would make a good shirt. Who was that? Exclusive and weird. PJ said exclusive and weird would make a great t-shirt. Yes, it would. So
also, are you calling me a nerd? That's another good t-shirt.
Yeah. Even TRS 80 stuff was pricey. Like I said, it depended on like, if you were okay with like, I've got mid-range PC parts, then yes, it would be considered affordable. The problem is every time you go to that store, you're just like, oh man, the new CPU came out. Oh man, they just came out with DDR2. They just did this, and like, I want it. And then, yeah, that's a dragon, man. You're going to chase that dragon. I even specifically asked my boy about this one, because I didn't think he'd be very interested in the console. This is the part that actually got me interested. The original Steam controller was in 2015. It was considered awkward. But it did have haptic touchpads on it, which were eventually what they said were refined for the Steam Deck. And I know a lot of people really loved them on the Steam Deck. This one is going to have the dual trackpads, but as someone who has changed the joysticks on multiple controllers in this household, the fact that they are putting out there first and foremost, we are using TMR magnetic sticks, so you will not have drift. That alone right there was just like, tell me more. Like that right there is game changer to me. Like, I don't know if I'd ever use the thing like this. My boy did point out something though. And I think his exact words were, I don't think an Xbox player will ever buy this. There's not a shot in hell just because of the layout of the sticks. Maybe not.
Does this come with that PC?
I would assume so. They haven't. That's the problem, is they haven't said the price yet. They haven't said what it comes with yet. They just basically are, chumming the waters at this point. We don't have any hard information yet. But I have to say, like I said, I'm just like, yeah. I mean, he said, no way in hell I'm using that layer.
I don't know. I want to try it. I do want to try it. Mm-hmm. The old one they put out was too weird. I was like,
that's what even they said. It was awkward, guys.
Yeah, but this one seems interesting.
This one looks interesting to me. Yeah, like I said, the fact that they're upfront about it, using magnetic joysticks that don't cause drift, I'm just like, yes, please, will everyone else fucking follow along? Because I'm so tired of stick drift. But
did you hear how long the battery will last?
No.
30 hours.
That's not bad.
30 hours.
That's not bad. Man, that's like getting, yeah.
Yeah, they said the battery, it's got that magnetic charging thing.
Uh-huh.
And they said, but don't worry about it because the battery should last you about 30 hours of gameplay. I was like, holy crap.
That's crazy.
I think maybe the PS3 controller would last in that same ballpark, but that's the last controller I know of that would last like that. And the PS4 controller definitely didn't. None of the Xbox controllers last 30 hours. That's very cool. Yeah. I don't know, man. I want to see more. I really do.
I do too. This is interesting. So the console looks interesting. The controller looks interesting.
Oh, 40 hours on the Elite. That's cool. I didn't know that.
That's good.
I stand corrected.
The Steam frame, on the other hand, I don't know. To the point, I've been meaning to talk to my boys. They both have an Oculus 2, and Alex actually brought to me the other day. He's like, Dad, I think they're going to start phasing it out because the 3's out and a lot of more games are being announced, and they're like, oh no, it's only for the 3 and above. It's not supporting the Oculus 2 anymore. And so I've been trying to think about it. I was like, man, maybe I need to see if I can get a halfway decent price for it and have to ask the boys if they want to get and sell theirs. It's just because during COVID, a lot of people were investing in VR systems because, we were stuck at home and then we couldn't go outside. It was the next best thing. But I don't hear anyone talking about VR stuff anymore.
I think it's kind of faded off, man.
I do really too.
Do. Yeah. I don't think it's not like it was for sure. For sure. Yeah. I have an Oculus Quest 2.
Oh, so you have one as well?
I never use it. My man bought it for me. I used it for a while and it's just set over here for, I can't even tell you the last time I touched it.
Honestly, the only game on it that I thought was absolutely game changer was, what's the one where you're slicing things up to the music?
Yeah.
That game is still fun as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game's fun as hell. But otherwise, yeah. It is a standalone system like the MetaQuest 3, because I was talking about it with Alex, and he's like, man, it runs SteamOS, so it could just be your entire thing. I'm like, yeah, that is kind of cool. The thing that got my interest, though, is the fact that it's got a 6 gigahertz USB wireless connector to the PC. So if you are going to connect it to a PC, you don't have to have a wire on it. If I were hardcore into VR stuff, I would be looking at this one.
Oh, if I cared about VR, there's no other VR that would interest me beyond this one. This is the one I would be going for sure. Yeah. No, it sounds fantastic if you're into VR, but I'm just not.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just not something that crashing cars get scary, because he actually hooked his up. I don't know. When was the last time you did that, Alex? Of course, you also sold he didn't have a very good steering system. He wanted one that would do multiple turns, more like an actual car. But at one point he did have his Oculus hooked up to his PC and his steering wheel. Yeah. And I was like, okay, dude, that's kind of legit cool. So I used to have an Xbox One steering wheel. I gave it to Manon, but I had it hooked up to my gaming PC with my Oculus Quest 2, and I played
Project Cars 2 in VR. I did that a couple of times, and I was done with but it was kind of cool. It was like almost like you know, some kind of arcade experience or something, you know.
That's like there are special type of gamers out there, and I'm not talking down to those people. If that is what you do and that is your jam, then like, you know, good on you. But like those people who like, and I actually found a video and I was showing it to the boys the other day. This guy took a bunch of 2x4s and went to a junkyard and just got all these different parts for the inside of a car and basically rebuilt the inside of a car with screens around it and basically created a driving simulator. And I was just like, that is awesome. If that's your thing, like if that's the only thing you care about, I just play driving, or those people that build the really awesome flight simulator things.
Yeah.
If that's your jam, then go for it. Be happy. I hope you get as much joy out of it as it looks like you are. But like for the average person, it's just like, you're right. It's like, oh, this is cool. We do something else now.
I got to tell you, every once in a while I get a wild hair and I decide to do something like, I'm going to set up an arcade station. You know, I bought a really nice stick. I got a VGA monitor for it. I bought this little computer. I'm going to load it with all the emulators. I got it all. And I get it all set up. And then I'm like, all right. And then I'm done. Once I get it all set up, I don't want to. So I've several times in my life built stations of some kind and setups. But once I get them together and I play games like maybe 2 or 3 times, I'm done. I'm not going to keep. So, dude, can you imagine you get this giant car and you build it, and you put all this stuff in it, and you get it all going, you play it, and you're like, that's fun. How many times are you really going to play that?
Exactly. Like I said, unless you're one of those people that's just like, yeah, this is what I do. Like they're probably like those guys who do the flight simulator things. It's like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a pilot. Okay, cool. What do you do in your off time? I fly. All right, cool. I mean, if that's your jam, like,
yeah, I mean,
so,
I'm
sorry, go on.
No, I'm just saying, like that's why I don't have all those like arcade 1-up machines and all that shit. Because
tell me about it.
I thought I look at them and I go, cool, but then I'm like, no, man.
Where am I going to put this? My other big problem is, and I even bought I got a really good price on a big dual joystick setup that, you know, plugs up through USB or whatever. I have it at my office at work. And I was like, man, why am I not using this thing? And it's like, because dummy, you prefer a cross pad to a joystick. You always have. Like the idea of building an arcade console is really, really cool. I really like that idea. But then I'm just like, but then where do I put it? How often am I actually going to use this thing?
Right. And is that even going to be my preferred way to play those games?
No, it's not. Sitting in this chair.
Exactly.
With this is my preferred way of playing games. It always has been. It probably always will be. So, yeah.
This is okay. There's a story we didn't pick up, but it's kind of related. You know, I used to have all those analog consoles, the FPGA consoles, the Super Nintendo one, Genesis one, all the NES one, and they're really cool. I'm not saying they're not cool, but I prefer to play original hardware, like on a real Super Nintendo, real Genesis, real TurboGrafx, real whatever. So even if I have a solution that's even technically better than the real hardware, I still want to play on the original hardware, you know? So
I get it.
Sometimes you can build something that's phenomenal, but it's not what you want.
Yeah.
You know? And that's a tough thing to come to terms with because it doesn't really make sense. It's like, to go back to the PC gaming thing, like you could build this amazing PC that can do all this and push the frame rates to insane amounts in 4K and has all these effects and stuff. And that's great. But if you prefer to play on a Game Boy, you know, at a certain point, you're like, what am I doing? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I would be totally fine with the PC I have now if I had not started streaming games. But I'm having too much fun doing it. I'm just like, all right, nope, I've got to start looking at PC parts again. So
yeah.
The real thing is cool until you want to change games.
Oh, no, but for me, changing the cartridges is awesome. I have a huge collection of Super Nintendo carts, Atari and television. There's several systems. Some of them I had to sell, but I love my cartridges. I love the idea that that's the game. You know,
Yeah.
I have the Evercade for the same reason. Do I need to have the Evercade? I can play these games on emulators. I don't need to do that. But it's fun, man. And it's not fun for everybody. There's plenty of people that are like, I don't want to do all that shit. And like you're saying, do I really want to change all the games all the time? I do, but not everybody does. And I wouldn't. I'm the weirdo. I know that. I'm not. I own your thing. Like that's why I'm saying, like the PC gamers, like your son and different people that are like primarily that's how they want a game. Yeah, dude, you're weird, but that's okay because own your weirdness. It's totally fine. Everybody's weird about something, especially in the gaming space. You know, I have no problems with accepting that what I choose to do is on the outside of normal. I have no problem with that.
I was just saying, I'm the weirdo. That should be a shirt. Yeah, maybe you should put that one. I'll put that one on your store.
Yeah,
just
I'm the weirdo.
I'm the weirdo.
My face. Yeah.
Yeah. Super Mega Graphics 64 underneath. So, all right, let's go ahead and why is it posting it over and over again? That's weird. Anyway, let's go ahead and bring up our last story real quick. And so this is one that you said you wanted to talk about a little bit.
Yeah.
So fans are claiming broken promises from Nintendo. So Nintendo announced Pokemon Pokepedia. Why didn't they go with Pokepedia? That didn't make sense to me. Anyway, it's going to be $70, which, I mean, that's just the price of games now. But it's going to be game key card only. And apparently that's when people lost their shit. If you're not familiar with the game key cards, it's basically a little chunk of plastic that's got a chip in it. And when you put it in the console, it promptly tells you, hey, go to the store and download it. And the game isn't even on the damn card. Nintendo stated that the reason why people are losing their shit is because Nintendo stated a while back that this was an option for the Switch 2, but we will not be using it for games that we produce. And everyone's just like, what is that? What is that? What movie is that from where it's, is it Brad Pitt? It's Leonardo DiCaprio where he's going, and pointing. That's what everyone fucking did at this point is whoa. Yeah. You said you weren't doing this for games you produced. This is a Pokemon game. Another company made it, but you're producing it. What the hell, guys? So,
you know, look, I admit I'm tired of talking about Nintendo. I really am. And the thing about this situation is when this news story kind of started blowing up, I was like, okay, it's interesting because you guys were real upset for a while about a bunch of other stuff and you just kind of forgot about it because you're like, whatever, I'm having fun again. I don't care. And then this happens and you're all upset. I'm like, how long is this going to last? You're going to be upset for 2 or 3 days. And then you're going to be like, oh, well, I'm having fun. You know, the stuff that Nintendo is doing this generation is on another level from anything they've ever done. And people have called them out on it, but the same people have immediately forgiven and forgotten
and purchased.
And yeah. And it's like, they're just going to keep doing this shit. Don't you guys get it? This is not stopping. Every time something like this happens, you all freak out for 2 days and then act like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's just going to keep happening. This is what Nintendo's doing now.
I've heard someone recently compare to a lot of stuff that's going on in politics with Lucy pulling the football from Charlie Brown. That's what this feels like. is oh no, it's fine, guys. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. What?
To be honest, PJ brings up a good point. He says nothing burger. And I don't know exactly how you meant that, but let me say what I'm taking from that. This is kind of a nothing burger though. Like there's plenty of stuff Nintendo's done that you could be upset about as far as their practices. And you could be upset that they said they wouldn't do this and they are doing this. But if you're upset about the concept of this, back up, because the concept of a disc that basically is just a download code or a code in a box or whatever. There's so many games that came out for the Xbox One and PS4 that it was a disc, but the game wasn't on there. You had to download the game, most of the game. This is a concept that's been going for a long time. Okay, this is not something new. And to be honest with you, the whole point of you having the cartridge is so that you have something you can sell. You have something that has a physical value to it.
I did see that. I did see that a lot of people said, well, at least the one good thing about these, even though it's like, why the hell wouldn't I just download it? Anyway, is that you're right. I can now take this to someone else and be like, here's essentially the license to play this game.
It holds the value too, because it's Nintendo. Okay. So as far as the physical aspect, as far as you retaining value for the thing you own that you can resell or trade or give to someone, that's what this accomplishes. Now, is the game on the cartridge? No. And you can be upset about that, right? But you should be also upset about the discs and everything else that has existed for 15 years or however long this has been going on. It's not new, this concept. What people are more upset about is the fact that Nintendo said they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And then they are doing it, but they're trying to sort of get away with it. Like they're, but anyway, I guess what I'm saying is, in the grand scheme of things, the actual thing that's happening here is really not that big a deal compared to a lot of the other crap Nintendo's done. This is not that big a deal. But they did lie. That's true. Not that Nintendo has been honest about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But so I get that. But as far as the key card concept goes, I feel like it's not something if you don't like it, okay, I understand. You want to own the cartridge and have the data be on the cartridge and all that. But here's the other thing about that. Guys, if you're concerned about longevity and the game being on there forever, and if the servers come down and all this stuff, and at least you have the game on the cartridge, something you need to be aware of is this type of cartridge is not like an old school type of cartridge. This type of cartridge is an SD card. It's the same technology as an SD card. That's these right here. Same thing. These are not old school chip cartridges. The memory is stored on the equivalent of flash memory like you get on an SD card. And that's what Nintendo Switch cartridges have always been. They're not going to last forever. I hate to tell you that.
I didn't realize that. So that makes me think I need to go through every so often and just one at a time, plug them in and recharge them. Cause that's the biggest problem that we're having with solid state drives is disk rot, is that those bits, even though they're set to that 1 or that 0, over time start to lose the charge. And so it's not a high 1, it's a medium 1. Or it's a low 1. And at that point, depending on how fast you're reading it, it's like, is that a 1 or a 0? I don't know what it is anymore. And then at that point, it's corrupted and you may or may not ever get it back. So yeah, I didn't realize that. That's good to know. Good safety tip.
True. Yeah, it's 100% true. It's a big concern for modern cartridges.
Yeah.
They're really not cartridges. Like you don't have this problem with Super Nintendo, Genesis, Atari, and television, actual, turbo chips, regular cartridges. You don't have this problem because that's a totally different kind of memory. Yeah.
Yep. It's a burned ROM that's never going to do.
Yeah. They literally will last forever. They will last forever, but these won't. And so
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that as like some kind of, look, I'm not happy about any of that is what I'm trying to say. I'm not happy about any of that, but I'm saying the outrage over the game key card, I get in the initial phase of what the Switch 2 was presented. Like you're presenting this and you're saying, here's our thing. And you're like, oh, I don't like that. I get that. But this is now the thing. This is what they're doing. And if you don't like it, well, that's what they're doing. And if you don't want the physical aspect for trading it in or selling it or giving it to someone or whatever, I get that. But keep in mind, this is not the same type of deal as what you once knew as physical media. This is a different type of situation, and they're not going to stop doing it. This is what they're doing, and Nintendo can lie, and they're gonna lie. That's what they do. So,
I mean, the only way you can stop it is with your dollar. But even at with a Pokemon game, I'm not going to buy this Pokemon game. All right, cool. The 780 million other people are going to. So I don't think it's really going to make a drop in the bucket.
There you go. And that's why I initially was like, "Hey guys, let's talk about this, because if we let Nintendo know right now, we're not going to put up with this shit, and we're not going to spend our money with them. Then there's a chance that this game keycard shit goes away." But unfortunately, what we got was a bunch of fake outrage that lasted about 2 weeks, and then everybody bought the shit anyway.
Yep.
And Nintendo was like, "Oh, okay, so you guys are just upset
Y'all are cool.
for a little while." Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just basically going to promote us with your outrage. You're going to generate publicity for us.
Yes.
Cool. Do that, guys. Be upset, because we're not changing it, and you're going to buy it anyway.
Yep.
So anyway. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Cause they're not going to make the nightly news for, oh, hey, we released a new game. The only way they might make the nightly news and get all the as I refer to them, from Ghostbusters, the straights, in order for the straights to find out about it, is for people who are outraged about this new thing. Oh, Nintendo. Yeah. Wonder what they're doing. Maybe I should go buy some games. That's all they're going to get out of that news story. So yeah,
I'm not buying the Switch 2. I don't even want to. The fact that we're even talking about it right now actually makes me slightly.
You're the one that put the story on.
I know, and that's the thing. They got us.
They got you. So,
but I'm not buying their shit.
Yes. Fair enough.
I'm not buying a Switch 2 yet.
Yeah. Yet. Well, let's move on from that. So, we're a little over an hour in. Do we want to call it a night, or do we want to talk about the little thing that I wanted to bring up?
Let's talk about the little thing you want to bring up.
All right, so let's talk about this. So,
wait a minute. What does that mean?
So the other day, I was doing a stream about my Nintendo, my OG Nintendo console. And by the way, one of my boys was like, "Dad, why did you talk for like 30 minutes on your stream before you started playing games?" I was just like, because I was talking about the console. I was like, we were discussing. I was like, it would have been just one thing for me to talk about it and move on, but people were in the chat and they were asking questions, and we started having a conversation. And so I'm just like, and you know what? If you're not watching it live, I go back and do chapter markers on all my videos, so you can just do that. So anyway, the thing I brought up was this is my OG Nintendo console that I grew up with. This is the exact one, right? So I've got a lot of time and emotion and everything else tied into this console. The most, and you were absolutely right, and I sent you the picture after the show. I said, the most that I might do is I kind of want to take it apart and give it a really good cleaning. And not that I'm necessarily going to be playing it, but just so that, like, for prosperity, that it's nice and clean and everything. And the only thing that I might do to this one is I might change, if I can't get the pins to, really shine up, I might buy a new pin adapter. And you'd actually already sent one. In fact, it was sitting over there in the box in, I think, the envelope that you sent it to me in. I just hadn't gotten around to doing that. I'm hoping the next couple of weeks, I might actually be able to do that. I think that would be a fun project. But yeah, because this is my OG console, I don't think I would ever do anything to it. I don't think I would paint it. I don't think I would do a lot of other stuff to it. But I know there's a big divide. There's a lot of people out there that do different things with older consoles. And there's kind of two routes to it. There's, three routes. I guess you could say there are those people who are just like, get the console back to where it should be, like the day that it rolled off the assembly line. Like, let's get it cleaned up. As long as it's working at optimal levels, you're treating that console, in a good way. And then there are other people who are just like, well, why would I not buy a mod and install it in said console? So now that I can get HD out of it, Like, why would I not want to be able to play original hardware and hook it up to a new TV and get the absolute best quality video out of it that I can? Something like that. Or why would I not mod the console and make it so that instead of having to put in disc after disc after disc, which going back to media that's not going to last forever, why would I not make it so that I can just put all the games on a hard drive and play it that way, and so that I'm not constantly running the disc? And then you have even the further ones that go further, and they do things that are just like, why not make it also look better? Maybe add higher quality parts and stuff like that. So I was going to swap over here real quick, and I'm just showing this video. If you're not familiar with Macho Nacho Productions, he's on YouTube. And let me just go. Where did I do that? Yeah. So we're not going to listen to the audio, but we're just showing. This is a Game Boy Advance that he did not too long ago.
I've seen this. This is
all right. So he's talking about this Game Boy Advance that he did. That is a polished metal case.
Yeah.
It has a glass top on it with metal buttons. It has a brand new high quality LCD screen on it. Like he's showing off how there's etching on there for all the stuff. It lets you see inside of the console. It like has a new battery in it that has like super insane he's showing that you can do the normal battery, but he put a new battery in it so that it charges off of USB-C and has, insane life or whatever. That is a fucking work of art. I think
it has HDMI output too.
Yeah, I think it's got HDMI outputted on as well. And so and then he's showing how there's a touch button on there where you can actually change the brightness and everything. This is quite honestly, this could be the ultimate Game Boy Advance. Like you could look at this and be like, this is the ultimate version of this thing. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is I just had the thought the other day of like, why would you not do this? Why would I ever decide not to do this? And for me, I think it kind of comes down to, this is my original Nintendo. I don't think I would touch this one. But if I got a hold of another one, I don't have a lot of sentimental attachment to it because it's not mine. I think I might fall down into this trap. And going back, and actually the Game Boy Advance is a great example of this because I do not have my OG Game Boy Advance. I talked about this the other day. I had my Game Boy Advance. I actually did. That's the first mod I've ever done to any console. I bought it online. They even had to send me the I can't remember what the second one was, but it was like 2 tri-tip screwdrivers so that you could get the screws out. And it added an LED backlight to it. I did an okay job. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I gave it a shot. It was still playable. It still looked fairly decent, but it wasn't completely optimal. And it made it so much more playable to me. And not that I really am looking to get another Game Boy Advance, but there is something like, I've got my old consoles back here and it's nice to have them on display, and I'm prefer playing modernly on emulation, but there's something about having the OG version. And I'm just like, if I did that, why would I not do something like that? Or at least maybe not to that extent. Like why? Exactly. And see, I wanted to talk to you about it because like you have had consoles modded and you have already said, especially that Game Gear that you're holding right now, you've already said this is one of my favorite things, better than it ever was.
This thing sat in a box for years and I didn't even touch it. And now it sits out because I play it all the time.
Exactly.
And sometimes, I mean, not for everything, but sometimes you can do a mod on something that makes it takes on a whole new life. It really does. I've had almost everything that I have that's been modded was done by one person, Chris Courage.
Yes.
Chris also has done stuff for some of my friends, and Chris is a very affordable guy. He does not charge crazy amounts and he does very high quality work. So I've had a lot of stuff done by Chris, a lot of stuff. I never thought I would ever have anything modded. I was actually kind of against the concept of modding consoles once upon a time.
Mhm.
Because I was like, why would you ever mod a console? You want it to be the original in its original form. You know, you don't like, why would I ever ruin this thing by tearing it up and doing stuff to it? Until I had I had my Intellivision modded
Mhm.
by Chris. I believe that was the first one he did for me, if I remember correctly. It might have been my Atari 7800. It was one of the two. But the first, those RF consoles, the consoles that are limited to just RF output,
Yeah.
is such a pain in the ass to play those consoles because of that. You have to send the signal through a VCR and then convert it from that to something else. It's like, or then you, like, I had an RF demodulator box and I had all this stuff set up, and the signal's not that great and it's whatever. And getting those modded, and I just have composite mods on those. They're not like super fancy mods, but just that totally changed everything about how I use those consoles and the experience of playing them. And you know, if you can do something to a console that makes you want to play it again, do it. You know, like especially if you know somebody that can do a good job and not charge a lot, which I happen to know someone like.
Yes.
But I can't do that stuff myself. Like I've looked at it and I know, I mean, you know, Eugene, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm the horror story about you and that motherboard, like, still.
I
still
ruined
reference
a
that.
gaming computer. I ruined a gaming. It was a pretty badass gaming computer, and I ruined it because I'm stupid.
No, you're not stupid. You had bad luck.
Well, we'll say there's a little column A, a little column B going on.
Okay, fair. Okay, so Luke brings up a very interesting point, though. This could become a Ship of Theseus thing. And if you don't know what the Ship of Theseus is, the Ship of Theseus was an ancient ship that over time they wanted to preserve. And so what they did is they were like, well, the wood is rotting out on this, so maybe we should start replacing some of the wood. So they start to replace part of the wood. Oh man, some of the metal parts have rusted through. We've got to replace it. So they replace part of this. And as time goes by, every single part of the original Ship of Theseus is gone. Like everything on's been replaced. And so the question becomes, it is a paradox. Is this still the Ship of Theseus? If you've replaced everything on it, is it still the original thing? I don't know if I still believe the whole thing. I know growing up, we were always told, like, what, every 7 years, like, all the cells in your body die and change or whatever. I don't know if that's on. I've actually heard that there is some evidence. It's not 7 years. But it is some time period that all the cells die and replaced. And it's just like, that's why you change and grow and over time. And so, but like, the reason I'm putting up this on the screen is that's a badass looking case for a Nintendo. Would I put it on this case? No, because this is a perfectly fine case for this perfectly fine console. But like my wife's Nintendo system that's at her grandparents' house, which we're going to be going to in a couple weeks here, I don't think anyone has any interest for that console. Would it be awesome to have this badass looking Nintendo console sitting behind me here? Yeah, it would. I don't know. And it's just, it's like, it would be all of the correct innards. It's not like I'd be changing anything outside. I'm just changing the way it looks on the outside.
You guys are funny.
The cells in my body were female cells 7 years ago, another male cells. Fair enough, Luke. George Washington's axe theory. First, they replaced the handle, then they replaced the head. Still, yeah. No, actually, PJ, that's 100%. It's the same thing. It's like,
all right. Can I? Let's go back to my Game Gear for a second.
Okay, yeah.
So one of the reasons I was resistant to doing this was because the idea of replacing the original screen, I was conflicted about, because I was like, I can replace the original screen with something that's awesome and modern and brilliantly, you know, just an awesome screen. But then I'm like, it's not the original screen. And part of in my head, the experience of playing Game Gear was the screen. It was not great, but it was the Game Gear. And it took me a while before I made a decision that I was like, you know, the screen is so bad and I want to play it more, and I'm going to do this. And it turned out for me to be the right decision because, like I said, it made me feel completely differently about playing the system and wanting to play it and stuff like that. But I will concede that changing that screen does change what this is. It changes this from being the original Game Gear experience slightly. It does, well, in a substantial way, but so you have to, it's not, I think what you get caught up in, what you can get caught up in is this concept, like you said, if I keep replacing stuff and I keep changing things at a certain point, what is this thing that I've made? And is it even the thing that I think that I love? Right? You can get caught up in that.
Yeah.
But it's probably the wrong question to ask yourself. It's probably the wrong thing to think about, because the right thing to think about to me is what am I doing? Am I playing video games and having a good time and having a nostalgic experience that's enjoyable and fun? Am I getting use out of the things that I own? Or am I keeping everything in a glass jar and not really touching it, and dust is getting on the glass jar and it's sitting there and it's original and it's the thing that I think I love, but it's more of a memory now because I don't even really use it and I don't want to use it because it's diminished to the point to where it's not as fun or as enjoyable as I would like it to be. So you have to ask yourself, what do you want? Do you want to have the trophy? Or do you want to keep your thing and change it and use it and have new experiences? It's just a personal decision. Some people would just really rather just keep it exactly. I mean, you can't though. That's the problem, man. You're never going to keep things the same. They don't stay the same. You know, I had to buy 4 different Super Nintendos because I kept having problems with them because the PPU.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh my God. Super Nintendo is notorious. I don't know if you know this. Super Nintendo, Super Famicom, the chips fail on those systems. And they've been getting to an age where, and we're not talking about capacitors. That's a whole nother issue. I'm talking about the chips themselves. The PPU chips fail on Super Nintendos. And they're failing all over the place. They've all kind of reached an age where they're starting to crap. So I had to have professionals. Chris fixed one of my Super Nintendos by fixing the capacitors. But I had another one where they had to actually replace the PPU.
Wow.
And you can't really keep things how they have always been. You can't, because they might last and they might be the same, but a lot of this stuff is failing, whether it's capacitors or screens or chips or power supplies. That's the other thing, man. These fucking power supplies. Holy crap. You know, like the original power supply to my Atari XEGS, this computer sitting right here. When I got it from my buddy John, the power supply was messed up and I had to buy a replacement modern power supply that plugs into a USB. And then it was fine. The whole thing that was wrong was the power supply. Like we thought the console was messed up, but it wasn't. It was the power supply failed. And you can't fix the power supply. You can only replace it. You know, it's some stuff you can keep, you can try to hold on to and keep it exactly, you know, how you wanted it to be. But I mean, fine. But then maybe you can't use it. Maybe you can't play it. It's just, there's not it's not as simple as I want everything like this or I want everything like that. It's not that simple. Sometimes it's some things here, you know, whatever, depending on what's going on with it. You know, these electronics, they're not going to last forever.
And they were never built to be like they were. This is before we got into hardcore. You cannot replace anything. You can't fix everything. Everything's soldered, welded, and everything together. Like most laptops are nowadays. Like, you know, whenever they move to, oh, we're just going to solder the fucking RAM chips into the board. I was just like, oh, I'm done. Forget it. This is a one-use thing. But yeah, like, you know, they were, like you said, they were built until, you know, hopefully this will last the kid a while and then we get the next console out and they buy the next one. Like that's all, that's all they were built for.
They were built to last 10 years. That's,
so
yeah. And
if that.
the fact that some of this shit is still working is pretty amazing. And I know that,
Yeah.
I'm not, I mean, any of the stuff, the consoles that I own, they could die. They could die. They might not last another 5 years. Who knows? You never really know. That's what happens when you buy old electronics,
Yeah.
It is what it is. So I guess what I'm just trying to say is I respect the concept of keeping things original, but I just don't think it's necessarily realistic. I think if you're going to keep everything original and you're just going to keep everything original, fine. That's your decision and that's great. But you have to accept that what that means is that black fucking case is badass right now.
I know, right?
That's really badass.
But see, going back, Tronics Fix, we've been talking about Tronics Fix on and off. I found them. I've gone through a crap ton of their videos, and they try to fix he tries his best to fix the console, but then sometimes the case is messed up. He's gotten cases that have gone through house fires and stuff like that. You're never going to fix that case, and it will probably always smell like smoke. And so it's why would you not do something badass like this? You know what I'm saying? It was just one of those things that kind of ran into my head. I was just I'm very much like you've said. I'm very much it's your stuff. You do what you want or whatever. It's just kind of funny because occasionally you find people, and I was talking about this on the show the other day. There's a guy I follow on YouTube. I listen to the podcast he does as well. And he bought an old hearse. I don't remember what it was. And it wasn't the same Cadillac they used for the Ecto, but it was about that age and kind of that style. And of course, people just immediately were just are you going to turn into Ecto? Are you going to turn into an Ecto? Well, he's not a Ghostbuster guy. He didn't really think about it. And he's just well, yeah, that might be kind of cool. That might be kind of fun. He's but you would not believe the comments section. He's he's a fairly big YouTuber. And he's it was almost an even split of, dude, you should turn it into this. You should make it look awesome. That's one of the most iconic movie cars ever. You should totally do this. And the other half was just no, don't do that. You keep that thing original. That's sacrilege to modify it that way. And I'm just I know I've heard these conversations about other things as well. And it was just, like I said, it was just the personal attachment I have to this specific Nintendo. I'm well, unless something happened to it, God forbid it caught on fire or something, I had to replace the case. I don't think I ever would. But if it was just some random Nintendo, I would be yeah, sure. I may put a bright red or solid black case on it and make it look badass. Why not? Right. So it was just something fun that popped in my head and I wanted to get your opinion on it. So
I think you should just do what makes you happy. And
there you go.
And that's all there is to it. If you want to keep your old Nintendo stock, I think that's awesome. If you want to modify another Nintendo, I think that's awesome too. If you wanted to modify your original Nintendo, I would think that's awesome as well. Whatever you think you want to do that would make you happy. And here's the thing. You're talking about the car situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just modify and turn it into an Ecto versus keep it original. Because if you really want to keep it original, you're going to be restoring it, which means you're going to be replacing all kinds of shit on it, just stock stuff,
Yeah.
Or stuff that appears to be stock stuff. So, it's not that simple necessarily is what I'm saying, but anyway, my point being, yeah, this is all entertainment. These are essentially toys that we play with. Have fun. Whatever that looks like.
Look at that black Xbox. Isn't that cool?
That is really cool.
Yeah, I fall down rabbit holes here looking at it, and the fact that you can get it in almost any damn color.
The red one, actually.
The red one looks really cool too. So, yeah, like I said, I fall down these rabbit holes where I see people that are hey, we've got cases and stuff like that, and I'm just man, that's a cool thing to do. So, and if that's your jam, good on you. So
I think you should modify stuff if you want to, have fun with it. I was reluctant to mod my Wii U, but I talked with Luke actually quite a bit about it. And I ended up modding my Wii U. And I got to tell you, it's one of the best decisions I ever made. It's sometimes it can breathe all new life into the things you own. And you'll have all new experiences with it. And you'll still have your retro experiences too. It's not going to take that away. It's going to enhance it. But I'm not pushing that idea. I'm just saying, you know, sometimes it's good to be open-minded. That's all I'm saying.
And see, I'm weird about it because on certain things, like, you know, I have a Switch 1 in there, and like the idea of doing anything to mod it, and I don't even know what you'd mod. Maybe you could put a different case on it. I'm just like, no, why would I do that? It's working perfectly fine. Older stuff though, but even then, I say that the brand new HasLab Proton Pack I have sitting over there. What's the first fucking thing I did when I got it out of the box? Tested it. Man, this is cool. Took it apart and immediately started upgrading it. Like, like it's one of those things that like I know I'm weird about it. It depends on what it is. Some things I'm like, well, yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it as nice and as pristine as possible. And other things I'm just like, no, mod all the things, like make it your own. In fact, my Ghostbusters group is very much of the opinion, like almost the crazier the better. So like we have some people that yes, they want to try to make their proton packs look as, and this is such a sticky path here. Screen accurate. Okay, well, and every time I say this, if I ever meet anyone, and I've met very few, but I have met a few, and unfortunately I was a dick to them. They're like, well, it's not very screen accurate. I'm like, which scene? Which proton pack? Because they literally changed from scene to scene. Like, are you trying to make it like the hero pack? Are you trying to make it like the stunt pack? Are you trying to make it so like the LEDs go this way or this way in that other scene? Which scene are you trying to be specific to? Because it really does matter. And like,
I would have loved to hear you say that to somebody.
Dude, it was
that
like
so funny.
He was being such a dick. Like he was already being a dick to some of my other members. So I was just like, screw this guy. Oh, but like going back to my group, we are very much like every time we meet, there's certain guys in my group. Every time we meet, they've added more shit to their proton pack, just random lights or whatever it is. And we just eat it up with a spoon. It's just like the more unique this is to you, the better. And I fucking love it. So
I need to ask you a question about something.
Yeah. Hold on. You should put a Hemi on it. A Hemi on what? What are we putting a Hemi on?
You're about to find out.
All right.
I wanted to ask you about this this Nintendo pin adapter that I gave you.
Yeah.
Are you sure? I mean, this is what I'm worried about. I was thinking about this the other day. Are you sure that you didn't already fix it?
I don't know.
Because what I was imagining is you open it up, you replace it, and then you're like, oh, it's not working too well. And I'm like, it's already fixed.
You know what? I could have done that. Okay. Here's why I think I didn't. Why would I have kept the bad pins?
But I know you, and that's why I'm thinking what if he did replace it and he was like, oh, I don't know what to do with this. I'll just put it back in the thing and keep it.
I mean, that is a possibility. That is a possibility.
You're like me, and you don't ever want to throw shit away because you're like, maybe who knows something, maybe who, you know.
I'm gonna keep this piece of wood. This might come in useful. So
it's like, this is my original one. I know I don't need it anymore, but it's my original one.
But it's the original one, yeah. No, I would definitely test it. I would definitely take a good look at it. So it wouldn't be that I would really just be like, take the screws off, pop on the new one, and like put it back together. I would do a good cleaning on it. So
I could just see every couple of years keep replacing it, forgetting that you had replaced it.
I would definitely, at this point in my life, I would definitely be like, nope, that's the old one, and chunk it. So because I've already got too much other shit that I've collected that I'm just like, one day this might be useful. And of course that has happened to me. I can't tell you how many times I've been like, well, let me go to fucking Amazon and buy this because, 6 months ago I was like, well, I'm never going to need that again. Oh, I can tell you exactly what something that happened. I was trying to convert. What was I trying to convert? I was trying to get, my mom had an old camcorder, and there were a couple of videotapes, and I was trying to get the video off of it. And I bought a very cheap converter box just to plug in to get the video off of it or whatever. And of course, what's the best way that I could get the video off of this? S-Video. Guess who no longer had an S-Video cable as of about a year ago when we moved into this house, and thought, why the fuck do I still keep an S-Video cable? So I bought an S-Video cable for like $7 on Amazon. It's like, why did you do that? So that's exactly when I did that. So
yeah, that's me getting rid of all of our VHS tapes because I'm like, when would what would I ever need VHS tapes for ever again?
mhm.
And then like a few years later, going, oh my god, I threw away probably $500 worth of VHS tapes. Awesome.
Yep, great, fantastic, good on you, former you. So
Yeah, all that anime. Me and my brother had a huge VHS collection of anime.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Manning just let me have all the tapes because he had all the DVD stuff, and he was like, I'll never need these for anything.
Mhm.
And when I got divorced, we threw away all those damn VHS tapes, man. All that anime that was, I'm telling you, I know it was worth hundreds of dollars. Now,
Yeah, because especially now with all the ways that these companies have eaten up each other, like they're just like, we don't know who has the license for that anymore. So sorry, it's just lost at this point. So yeah, good times. So, all right, I guess let's go ahead and wrap it up now. We have been going for an hour and a half. So
it's been a fun show.
It has been a fun show.
We missed a bunch of good comments though. I was reading different stuff people were saying.
Yeah, well, that's why I also started putting it on the screen so that even if we did miss it, if you're watching, which I mean, like I said, this show is only on YouTube, so you have to watch, unless you're one of those weirdos that puts on a show like this and just listens to it. I mean, if you are,
I'm
welcome,
that weirdo.
thank you. But
what are you talking about? I do that all the time. I don't like
if I'm listening to it, if I'm watching something on YouTube,
You're very judgy.
Watch it.
You know that?
I know I am. So
it's not good.
But if you are one of those people, welcome. So, you know what's funny? Real quick, I'm just going to throw this out there that I did not see. StreamYard did not give it to me until literally the day before Halloween. They're like, look, you can put fun stuff on your stream now. And I'm just like, cool. That might have been fun if I was doing streams back in October. But yeah, and they're still here now. As obviously they're still here. I'm like, so you want me to put the candy border with the pumpkins and stuff on mid-November? Cool. Maybe y'all should plan this a little better, guys. So anyway, wonder if I can do multiple at the same time. No, I can't. Okay. So what was what movie was that where they kept adding stuff to the screen and it was like CNN? It was literally about that big on the screen. The rest of it was just ads, or was it? It was something or another. I don't remember. So anyway, I guess let's go ahead and move on into, let's go ahead and thank the people in comments first. We'll go ahead and do that first. So let's see here. PJ Smith was here at the very beginning. Thanks for staying, man. Love hearing you from you. Luke's Awakening. Who else we got here? I know my boy was in here at one point. Bassarino jumped in. Going back through here, like I said, Luke's Awakening was here. Bassarino. I knew there was Born Distracted, I think, was in there at the very top. Yeah, won't let me go all the way to the top there, but yeah, I know Born Distracted was in here. So, but yeah, thanks everyone that joined in the chat. And yeah, we always have fun when y'all are commenting and throwing in your 2 and 3 and 4 cents. So,
I heard that they officially stopped making pennies.
Oh yeah, okay. So I didn't know that they actually passed that. When my partner at work brought that up, and I was just like, that went through. Okay, good on them. So
finally.
I know, right? It was up to 2.5 cents to make a penny or something like that.
I think it's way worse than that now.
It may have been, yeah.
They need to stop making all coins. I don't think we need coins at all.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. Maybe quarters. Quarters I can see still using, but otherwise, because there are a lot of people that still use quarters for
nostalgia
machines and stuff,
but for arcade machines.
But but pennies, nickels, dimes.
No, get rid of all that shit. We don't need none of that.
And I mean, Canada got rid of pennies years ago, and I've talked to the Canadians about. They're just like, oh no, it's fantastic. You don't ever have to worry about this essentially trash coin that they want to give you. So
right. And another one, we don't need your stupid fancy $50 that you put out every few years. That just a pain in the ass for everyone.
Oh my god! And when you get them, and if you're like, well, what the fuck am I going to do with this? Because you take it anywhere, and people look at it like, that's not real. Yeah. Yes, it is. That is a real piece of currency.
We don't need your coin $50.
We don't need the dollar coins.
No, we don't need none of this shit.
Nope.
Quarters are fine. We can do quarters.
Quarters are fine. Yeah, everyone knows a quarter, but after that, yeah, everything else is just like, what is this? So 100%. Because I do have some I think I finally got rid of them all, but I did have some dollar coins. That's how I got them. I went to some vending machine and put in like a $5 bill, and it gave me change back in dollar coins. And I'm just like, are you kidding me?
I hate when that happens. I don't do cash at all, really. But when I was doing, they would every once in a while you would get change, and it would be those stupid dollar coins, and you're like, great, and now I have to keep up with these.
Yep. And like I said, because you go to spend them anywhere and they look at you, unless it's someone our age or older, they look at you like, that's not real, dude. I'm not taking that.
Nobody wants them. No machine takes a dollar coin.
No. And yeah. How do you dispense a coin you won't take?
It's such bullshit.
It is. Oh, it's ridiculous. All right. So now that we've yelled at the sky for long enough as old men,
whoever runs for president next time, get rid of the rest of the coins except quarters and get rid of daylight savings time. I don't care what the rest of your platform is. We're voting for you.
I've said I will vote. I will vote for robot Hitler if he can actually get rid of daylight savings time. Like every time they bring it up, they're like, "Yeah, this is a good idea," and then nothing. And I'm just like, "You fools! Like, what are you?
You fools!" What is this? What are you? We're in a cartoon. You fools!
Yes, it's ridiculous. Like and it's funny because it's the same shit every year. People are like, well, great. Guess what? Now I get to get up at 4:30 in the morning to feed my cat because my cat doesn't understand daylight savings time.
Jon Snow has not adjusted to this one. He keeps trying to wake me up because he thinks I'm supposed to have gotten up an hour before I'm actually getting up. So he'll come get on my bed, get right next to my face, and yell at my face. Mm-hmm. Sometimes he puts his paw on the side of my head. He's like, dude, you're gonna be late.
Get up.
He thinks he's helping me. And I mean, he is, but he just doesn't understand this fake thing that we've done.
Yeah. And I'm just like, dogs don't understand this. Cats don't understand this. Kids don't understand this. Like trying to explain to a 3-year-old, sorry, you have to get it up an hour early to go to school. Yeah. It's no bueno, man. That is not a fun time.
Yeah. And they're right. They're all right. You know, this shouldn't exist. It's an abomination.
So let me ask you this, though. Which way would you keep it if you could?
I don't care. Just switch it. I don't care.
Because I know some people who are hardcore either way. There's some people who are just, they absolutely agree. And maybe that's why we haven't changed it, is because 99% of everybody agrees we need to get rid of it. But then when you go, well, then we're going to do this, they're like, no, I want it the other way.
This is an argument I had with a friend of mine at work. I said, let's just get rid of it. I don't care which way you go. And he goes, well, I'm only doing it if we keep the one in the summer.
Right. Yes.
I'm like, what? Like, no, dude, we're losing track of the goal. Like, just whichever one is fine. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
No, I only want it that way. I'm like,
no, and that's where a lot of people come down on it. But see, for me, I think my clock is synced more to like this version. I think because I've noticed I can go to bed late. I can get the same amount of sleep. I can still get 6-7 hours of sleep, but because it's now shifted this way, I feel more rested.
Well, this is technically the correct time.
Yes, it is.
But
I get it. Like coming home and looking outside and it's 6:00 and you're like, what is it? 10? No, it's 6. What the fuck?
Weird. It gets dark.
So weird.
It gets darker at like 4:30 in the afternoon. It's like, what?
Yes.
Like this time of year, you know.
It's so crazy. So all right, we keep talking. Let's move on to the social media stuff. All right, Cyrus. Where can we find you online?
I have no idea.
Sport the merch, man. Sport the merch. Hey, I'm doing it too. So anyway, find him over at Super Mega Graphics 64. You doing any streaming this weekend?
I'm sure. You know, I'm off 3 days this weekend.
Oh, nice.
God. Oh, it's been crazy. I'm so glad to be off. So yes, I'm sure I'll be streaming. Yeah.
Good deal. Yeah, I'm hoping to get at least one stream in. Try to do part 2 of the old Nintendo memories. So I'll probably end up doing that. And before I jump up with my stuff, make sure to check out epicallygeeky.com, where you can find all the shows that we do, including the Epically Geeky show, Marginally Geeky, Creatively Geeky, Sustainably Geeky, this one, and EG Gaming. By the way, we just did an episode last night where we were interviewing a cosplay couple. It was a hell of a lot of fun. It was a really good conversation. They were very much, they told us, they were like, we don't do a lot of social media. We're actually kind of quiet and introverted or whatever, and we're actually kind of expanding and thought we'd give y'all a shot. And they're like, y'all were very welcoming. Y'all made it seem like it was just conversation. I was just like, good, we're doing the thing in the right way. So yeah, but yeah, it was a good conversation. So if you have any interest in cosplay or making or props or anything like that, it was a really good episode. It was a really fun episode to watch. So, and they're fantastic cosplayers. Like their stuff, it looks great. So, and then if you want to follow my individual wacky adventure, you can find me at Optimus Gene on Instagram. I mean, technically it's still posted on Facebook, but I mean, come on, who's still on Facebook? Really?
I don't want to be critical, but I really don't think it's that wacky. I'm just saying.
Oh, it's not really. You know why I picked up that call, right?
Mm-mm.
It's from you.
Oh,
you
really?
used to use the word wacky all the time. And I just picked it up.
Sounds like
so
that.
I blame you.
I accept the responsibility for this.
Well, you should. So all right, for everyone on this site and everyone in the chat, have a good night.
What's the twist? What's the score?